Good morning. In 1954, Senator Joseph McCarthy was the chief counsel during the Army-McCarthy hearings in the U.S. Senate and was investigating in Hollywood and New York City theaters for suspecting communists who were directors, actors, actresses, and even playwrights. And if so they were, then they would be kicked out of their careers. Marvin Porter happened to be an uprising new playwright in Brooklyn. And unfortunately, he was one of those so-called communists. And Senator Joseph McCarthy and lawyer Roy Cohn kicked him out of his playwright career. Later on in his life, Roy Cohn happened to be Donald Trump's lawyer in the early 1980s. And Roy taught all of his tricks over to Trump. And Marvin Porter in 1963, he was in a small apartment, all alone, and having only one brother, and he hadn't spoken to his mother ever since Roy Cohn and Senator McCarthy kicked him out of being a playwright and ruined his life. Act 1, Scene 3. The following morning, November 18th, a knock is heard on the front door. Lights rise as Baxter appears in the kitchen doorway wearing an apron over his black slacks and long-sleeve shirt. All right, don't bruise your knuckles. The cavalry's on its way. He opens the door and Sammy is standing there holding a potted plant. Oh, you! What's this? A floral delivery for me?
No, it's for Marvin.
Oh, I'm always the one overlooked. And what occasion brings you this lovely morning?
I'm here to apologize for last night.
All's forgiven and buried. Do you care to come in?
Yes, that would be nice.
Sammy enters and Baxter shuts the door. Oh dear, do you smell something burning?
Why, yes, a little, I think.
Baxter quickly moves into the kitchen. Oh my, I put the stove dial on 8 instead of 3. I'm working on a new recipe of toffee pudding. Make yourself comfortable.
Where should I put the plant?
Wherever the sun shines most. Do you care for a cup of tea?
I'd love some, thank you.
Would you like a pinch of cream and sugar?
No sugar, but cream, please. Is Marvin here?
No, he's laundering his skivvies and socks down in the basement.
How long have you been roommates?
We're not roommates, and I'm currently in exile in Brooklyn. I'm just staying here a few days to get my compass working again. You're English. Where from?
I was born and raised in Guildford.
Lovely city. I once did a play in Guildford. They have fantastic audiences, but their dressing rooms are atrociously skimpy.
Are you still an actor?
Why, yes. I'm flattered you care. Oh, because the casting directors don't.
Your resemblance reminds me of, oh my, what's his name? He is on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, that's me. Totally forgettable. The teapot whistles and he enters the kitchen.
I've seen him so many times. Where's my memory gone to?
If it is any consolation to you, I forgive your absent-mindedness, because my vanity would wither away if that actor never met my standards in every way. It is best we let him go up in smoke.
What was the name of the play you were in?
Oscar Wilde's marvelous, The Importance of Being Earnest.
I played Cicely at the Strand Theatre in London a few years back.
My, how we obviously share an abundance of good taste, don't we?
Yes, I suppose it was fun. Are you working anywhere?
Well, actually, I'm in between productions now, better known as an actor's purgatory. And how about you?
That is what brought me to New York. I'm cast in an original play by an unknown playwright. I know it is a great gamble for me, but I couldn't resist coming to America. I guess that makes me an exile from Mother England, doesn't it?
Well, that makes two of us, and we can share company so we won't be alone. Is it a good play?
It's fairly clever, slightly witty, but I have the lion's share of its dialogue, but I do have my doubts.
The New York critics will definitely remind you of your performance, and be assured if the quality of the production lacks, they may not want to see you ever again. They're not lambs in green fields, but they're lions looking for crippled playwrights and directors to devour who don't know what they're doing.
I very well know what you say is true, and that's what keeps me up at night drinking far more than I should.
When and where will you be playing?
It's at the Promenade Theater, and it's opening sometime in late January of next year.
Off-Broadway. Not bad. Good for you, and that is a good start.
I'm embarrassed to say I'm already missing London.
Don't fret, because shortly New York will warm you up. New Yorkers don't like losers before they fight, and if you do fight and lose, they will slap you on your back.
I know, Baxter. I'm certainly going to fight. I'm not a crybaby.
Oh, I don't doubt your fiber. You don't lean backwards easily in the wind.
When I got off the Queen Mary, I kept thinking I should be stomping on the boards of London instead of New York. That's horrible to say, isn't it? This is a wonderful opportunity that many young women don't have. I should be grateful, but honestly, I'm not.
Why did you accept the role?
I'm not clearly sure, but it is a favor for a friend.
To a friend, you say? I know that very well. Friends can often lead us astray to places that where enemies never can. Who is this friend?
He is a producer.
Oh, I know how that goes. I've been there a couple of times. My Auntie Mary Jane once said to me, "Shoot for the stars with a twinkle in your eye and have a smile from here to there, but keep your feet to the ground so you'll never lose who you are."
It's not what you think. He's an old friend of my father. They both shared World War II together.
Oh, I know a lot of actors who would be delighted to have a friend like that. Does he treat you well?
Yes, in the company of others.
How is he when you're both alone, if I may ask?
I would rather change the topic if you don't mind.
Of course, naturally. Let's move on. How about we have a little Oscar Wilde magic?
What kind of magic?
Baxter begins reciting dialogue from Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. He plays the role of Algernon. "You are my little cousin Cicely, I'm sure." She hesitates and soon realizes it is a game, and she plays the role of Cicely.
The importance of being earnest, isn't it?
Right, you are. Let's test how good our memories are after all these years. Sammy jumps in with her first line from the play.
You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I am more than unusually tall for my age. But I am Cousin Cicely. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest, my wicked cousin Ernest.
Oh, I'm not really wicked at all, Cousin Cicely. You mustn't think that I am wicked.
If you're not, then you have certainly been deceiving us all in an inexcusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Oh, of course, I have been rather reckless.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
In fact, now you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way.
I don't think you should be proud of that, though I am sure it must have been very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you. Whenever my mood drops a notch, Oscar always rushes to my rescue.
You're marvelous, Algernon.
And you, my dear, as Cousin Cicely, too.
Oh, you're really quite good.
What did you say?
You're a fine actor.
Pardon me. I didn't quite catch that.
What I said was Sir Laurence Olivier would quiver in your presence on stage.
That is what I thought you said. More tea?
I would love some, thank you.
What a tragic end for one so great.
Who are you talking about?
Oscar Wilde. What a horrible end for him that he had.
He went to prison, didn't he?
Yes, for being a homosexual.
Did he ever write another play when he left prison?
No. He lived out the rest of his life as a broken man to the end. What a dirty shame to do to a genius of humanity. His very last writing was a long poem called The Ballad of Reading Gaol in 1898.
What was the subject of his poem?
He wrote about the dismal days in prison and humiliation they laid upon him during his trial. He lived 2 hard, labored years within an 8-foot by 5-foot brick cell. All for that, because of his kissing and caressing a man when a woman was allowed to touch one, but not sent to prison.
Half of our cast is homosexual, but they're not criminals, are they?
Apparently, in America, it is what state you live in, because they just started decriminalizing homosexuality in 1962. I'm one of them, Sammy. But darkness still covers over us even to this day. We're not free to love whom or where in New York. George enters the front door and is surprised seeing them. Hello, Baxter. What a surprise seeing you again, George. Is Marvin here? Not at the moment. He's doing his laundry below. We're having tea. Would you care for a cup? No, I'm a coffee man. That is what most Americans say about us Brits, thinking it's too feminine for men drinking tea. Oh, let me introduce Marvin's new next-door neighbor to you. This is Sammy, and she definitely isn't a boy, as you can see. Sammy, this is Marvin's big brother.
It is nice meeting you, George.
Yeah, you too. Well, I never expected you ever having a girlfriend, Baxter. Not to contradict you, but I did have a girlfriend in my year 5, just for the record. Are you still working on the NYPD Vice Squad? Yeah, I'm still on the beat, and about 2 weeks ago I busted a couple of your friends at Tony Bonner's supper club. Were they stealing pork ribs and macaroni? No, they were smooching in the bathroom. Well, at least they weren't mugging anybody. And how many days did they get in the can for smooching? I just arrest them, and they go to jail. That's all I know. And I don't know how long they stay there. Are you staying here long, Baxter? I just arrived yesterday, and I'm considering going to Las Vegas, Miami, or sunny California. Well, the sooner you get out of Brooklyn, the more tan you'll get. It looks like I have to go down to the basement. He's probably putting nickels in the dryers instead of dimes. Have a good day, young lady, and Baxter, you're going to have to dine elsewhere because the Tony Bonner's Supper Club is being closed. George exits.
His brother clearly hasn't any similarities to Marvin. Did their mother have a secretive affair?
That's a thought, and George might have been fathered by a corner store meat butcher, and she got a reduction in price on chicken and hamburger. Aren't we an evil twosome?
We most certainly are. This may be rude of me, but what kind of relationship do you have with Marvin?
We're hardly intimate lovers, if that is where you're going.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. I shouldn't have asked.
Of course you should. Don't be. Now you know. I love him like a brother, but never in my wildest dreams would I be courting my dear Marvin.
It was stupid of me to ask.
There is nothing wrong being curious. He's straight as an arrow, but I'm a little wavy.
I find him a little odd, don't you think?
Marvin has always been a fish out of water, and he has forgotten how to swim.
In what way not swim?
Nearly a decade ago, he lost his creative spark as a playwright. He was brilliant, witty, and New York loved him.
What then happened to him?
That, my dear, would take an exhausting explanation for another day.